To all Americans, when has it ever been the circumstance that you felt that the government really just was out for your own best interests?
Say it ain't so. Candace Owens no longer with the Daily Wire. Right now we about to see this interview with the Breakfast Club, where she's about to school Charlamagne on Donald Trump. Sit back and react with your boy. If you like watching reactions like this, consider hitting that like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell. Let's go, baby.
Literally putting on a show like he didn't know me on stage, like he was surprised I was saying the stuff. He was way more level-headed and rational when we were on the phone. And I still look back on the moment. I'm like, what was he doing? It was like a circus act up there. And he was doing something that I thought was harmful because we were actually having a great discussion. And yet he created a little moment, and that was all the media ran with, despite the fact we were on that stage for hours. They ran with that moment, and I was really upset about it. But you're right. I was talking a lot about illegal immigration and saying this is something that we need to pay attention to, because eventually the black vote's not going to matter. Something that they worked so hard for is not going to matter. They get enough illegals in. What are we at? 10 million under Biden? Mm-hmm. And they're doing it intentionally. Like, it's going to be the same thing that they did to black Americans in the 60s. What Lyndon Baines Johnson did when he established welfarism and the Great Society Act. They want to get these people in, offer them handouts, and turn them into economic slaves that will continue to vote for Democrats because they're getting free handouts. And it's incredibly racist, first and foremost, but because black Americans are still, a lot of black Americans, I should say, are still living under this deception that Lyndon Baines Johnson was a good president, even though he was an avowed racist. I mean, he hated black people. I mean, one of the, so many times, I mean, hard R referring to us as the N-word. I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And this man is being hailed as a hero because he had to sign the Civil Rights Act, essentially with a figurative gun to his head because the country was on fire. You know, JFK had just died, and there were riots in the streets protesting because of racism. And he did not want to sign it, but he did. And with the other hand, he signed the Great Society Act and incentivized welfarism and, you know, programs to incentivize not marrying black men. You know, to think that we had government agents knocking on the door, going into the homes of black women and being like, there better not be a man that lives here. We're just here to check to make sure if you want this check, dad can't be home. Every other ill that black America is facing today is because we've removed fathers from the home. So I am like a big, you know, I use my platform to talk about men a lot and the need for male leadership, everything that is so harmful, this, you know, Me Too, false feminism, all of this crap. It's anti-man, and it's anti-man for a reason, because a society cannot survive without strong men. A household cannot survive without strong men. We need strong men to lead homes. And so the fracturing of the black family, I think, was the test. Like, you know, like we were the mice in the experiment. Like, let's see how that goes. And now they're kind of doing that writ large. And I hate feminism so much. I can't even tell you, because what it's about is it's just an attack on men.
Hold on, you just said a lot, Candace. So let's talk about some of these things. Now, you said a lot. Now with the politicians, right? With, whether it's Lyndon B. Johnson, Trump, Biden, I think people are able to ignore a lot of their BS as long as they can get something done.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like. So that's why I don't even like to talk about the person. I like to talk about the policy. So what is the difference between traditional conservatives and MAGA?
Well, I would say between the traditional conservatives and MAGA.
Yeah, like before what the Conservative Party was before MAGA and what it is now.
Yeah, so I think what you're describing is that there was this fracture in the conservative movement because people realized that when he was referring to the swamp, what he meant was it didn't actually matter if you were on the left or the right. They were all working together in D.C. and selling out all of America. I mean, there is no reason why you go to D.C. and become a multimillionaire. You're supposed to be there to serve the American people. You're there taking our tax dollars. So what was happening was these lobbying interests, like, you know, Big Pharma goes down and they lobby and they'll offer money to a candidate to go push a drug, like the COVID vaccine, or they'll lobby for war. It's like, and become a multimillionaire. You're supposed to be there to serve the American people. You're there taking our tax dollars. So what was happening was these lobbying interests, like, you know, Big Pharma goes down and they lobby and they'll offer money to a candidate to go push a drug, like the COVID vaccine, or they'll lobby for war. It's like, you know, biggest lobby, of course, military industrial complex. So we're all suffering. You're going to work because these lobbyists are getting their incentives done by buying out these politicians. And so Trump kind of hit the scene as somebody who wasn't bought and paid for because he didn't need their money. He wasn't like a random congressman going to D.C. with no money. And he just started talking about the swamp. Like, it's not even Republican or Democrat. And I want people to wake up to that, because I'm not here like ride or die for Republicans. They all sell us out. Like, the stuff that they did during COVID is criminal. It's just, it's criminal.
A fact.
And
expound on that.
I mean, the free handouts. First off, trillions of dollars. You're signing these omnibus bills. If you read into it, where that money is going, it's insane. It's literally going, you know, to museums, boards of museums. They're quite literally money laundering is what's happening when they sign these bills. But they keep it so that the information level is so low for Americans that it's like, oh, COVID's so bad. Like, we're going to give you a check that's like, $300. This basically describes welfarism, right? Like, despite the fact that there's been trillions of dollars since the establishment of welfare, Black Americans are poorer today than we were before it. People don't know this, but during the time of Jim Crow, before welfare was established in the 1950s, Black Americans were actually outpacing white Americans in this country in terms of economic growth. And the reason for that was because our families were together. We had good values. The government only wants to give you the bare minimum. But where's the rest of the money? Where is it going? They sign these bills making you think that this money is going to you. It's not. They are stealing from the American people. And you look at your congressman, whoever it is that you guys sent down to DC, and you realize that they're all just puppets. I feel like we're watching a performance, and who can say the most outrageous thing. The Republicans don't want to sign this because they want, slavery and they want you back in change. The Democrats don't want to sign this because they want grandma to die. Whatever it is, you're watching just...
It's a shit show.
To me, it's a play.
That's why I don't think. That's why I think if you're Black, you shouldn't be beholden to any political party, Democrat or Republican.
Right. I mean, I think that any concept of saying that I am a Republican forever, a Democrat forever, is a nonsense. You should always look at the candidates that are running, and any person that is running saying that they want to grow government is your enemy.
Why do you think people give you a lot of backlash for questioning people and having questions? I see all the time with Charlamagne, if we question something that Kamala Harris did, or question something that Joe Biden did, or question somebody that's Democrat did, why do you think our people have so much backlash when you ask so many questions?
Well, because I think that they don't realize that they've been manipulated against their own interests. And
I look at it like this. When you're brainwashed, you don't see any other way.
Well, because I think that they don't realize that they've been manipulated against their own interests. And a lot of it is, when you start telling the truth, you become a problem to the establishment, right? So if you're the military-industrial complex and you want people to just kind of sleepwalk into another war, and I'm sitting here telling you that, Pentagon just can't keep finding the trillions of dollars that they send overseas. They've got this budget and they're sending all this money to Ukraine, and then they say, oh, we don't know where all the money went. It's being laundered and it's being sent back to a very small group of powerful people. And so when you have someone like me who's cutting through all of the emotional arguments, you have to turn that person into persona non grata, right? And what better way to do it than to have their own community attacking them and saying that they're, pro-white or anti-Black. I mean, it's a nonsense things that they say about me. If you listen to what I'm actually saying, I'm sitting here providing a blueprint for Black Americans to get ahead because it's time, okay? It's time. We've been doing this for a very long time in this country. Black America, wake up, okay? They don't like you. They don't like us, okay? There's
so you're not anti-Black.
America has...
Yes, government.
America.
Yeah, like the government, the American government... Why would you think the American government wants to help you? Well, at what point in history has that proven to be right? And I'll challenge that and I'll make it wider to all Americans. When has it ever been the circumstance that you felt that the government really just was out for your own best interests? Think of them as a corporation. They want to grow themselves. They want new departments, bigger departments, larger budgets like any other corporation would want. And they never want to leave D.C. because we don't have term limits, which we should have, right?
The Trump, that's what people point to. But look at the circumstances it took for that to happen. We don't want to have to go through another pandemic in order to get that money. Yeah,
but the point is that should provide to you a lesson how the government works because people weren't even thinking ahead. You're like, yeah, I'm getting this free check. So I'm not going to work, again, incentivizing poor behavior. What ended up happening was a lot of the mom and pop stores closed, right? A lot of businesses actually had to fold because they couldn't sustain it under the economic environment. They just couldn't thrive. Employees did not want to go to work. It was crazy. And so what ends up happening is the individuals get weaker and the corporations got bigger. Right? Only the corporations could have survived in that environment.
She is not lying. You know how many businesses are non-existent after the pandemic? Listen, you can go to Manhattan and you will see a lot of stores just empty, vacant. No business, nothing. They don't really show you that. They got a dude on YouTube. He go around, I believe his name is Cash Jordan. He exposes it all. You understand what I'm saying? And real estate is doing bad down there. So she's not lying. A lot of topics she was saying, she was hitting it right on the nose. You see, nobody interrupted her really, right? They was asking her questions, but no interruptions. They were listening. They were getting schooled. Class was in session just now. That's how I look at it. And what I love about it most, she kept it classy. She's not up there being, you know what I mean? Oh, she's not up there being irate and I know it all. She's really telling them facts that you and I should know already. You understand what I'm saying? But the schools don't teach you these facts right here. Because if they do teach you these facts, it would never be as far ahead as they are right now. You understand? So word. Candace Owens, listen, man. I stand with you. For some reason, yo, if you ask me, Candace, Vivek Ramaswamy, they need to team up, yo. They need to team up. They got the same mindset. They want the best for this country, and that's what we need. We understand that this country is a corporation, but at some point, come on, we got to get this country back. You understand? It belongs to the people. Let me know your thoughts on this right here, right? Go in the comments, run it up, flood it up. If you like reactions like this, consider hitting the like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel and also hit the notification bell.